Welcome to the WhamTech EIQ product suite. This video will demonstrate how to configure EIQ SuperAdapters. Once indexes are built, you need to register the data source with the EIQ server and configure an EIQ SuperAdapter for the index using the EIQ server configuration tool. Go to the Data Sources tab within the tool and click on Add Data Source. This opens the data source registration window. Enter the alias for the data source in the tool, an ID for the data source, which will be an integer between 1 and 8, and the data source name as it appears in the system DSN. Then, enter the authentication details and test the connection. Do this for all data sources. Next, configure the EIQ SuperAdapter. We do this by creating a virtual data source, or VDS. A VDS is a pairing of the data source and the EIQ index. Under the EIQ Server Virtual Data Sources tab, click Define New to create a VDS. Name the VDS and then pair the index with the data source. Click Add next to the Data Source EIQ Index Pair box to create the pair. Here, you want to select the registered data source and the DBD file for the EIQ index created in the previous step. Click OK to save the pair, and then OK again to create the VDS. Once you've created the VDS, you need to map the attributes to a standard data model. To do this, go to the Superschema Mapping tab. This tab allows users to create standard data models, edit and import metadata tables, and edit entities for creating master data. Check out the Metadata Dictionary button. The Metadata Dictionary is the standard data model that users define for their dataset. The EIQ product suite ships with its own standard data model, and more can be added to it, or users can import their own standard data model and use that instead. Standard data models can also be exported so that they can be transferred to other EIQ server instances. Expand a VDS node and select the data source to begin mapping. This node displays all of the information for the VDS. You can see the schema name, the table names, the column names, the native data type in the source data, and the EIQ data type in the index. The metadata column shows all of the data model column names that will be exposed to the users. The attribute column shows the column usage within the index, whether it's a row ID, a primary key, a foreign key, a derived column, or its results only. To map a column to a standard data model, right-click the desired column and select Edit. You can enter a new name in the box, or you can select an already existing name from the drop-down menu. You will need to repeat these steps for each index built. After mapping the columns to a standard data model, you can query for the data using the EIQ Server Query tool. Open the Query tool and select Create a New Query. Enter the user type and authentication details. Then, enter the EIQ server address and click Connect. Select the VDS for querying from the drop-down menu. Make sure the connection string is schema interface equals standard data model, and then click Open. The data can be queried using basic SQL statements. For example, we'll enter the select star from example statement. Example is a superschema table we created to simplify the results. The data shows us all the transforms we applied, like formatted social security numbers and a combined phone number. Now you can move on to creating the EIQ Federation server.